Medicine, our graduate school, the School of Nursing, and the School of Health Professions, and now we have a brand new School of Public and Population Health as well. So
Dr. Tolliver are you advancing screens? It's not showing advancing screens.
I haven't yet. Let's see.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
No, but you know what? It's not letting me advance my screen. See, I shouldn't have gone to this mode. Let me, oh wait, there it goes. Okay, did it advance?
Yes.
It moved. Okay. All right. So, you know, in addition to all the different schools, and we have a lot of, we have very diverse research programs. But everything, I guess what I want to get across to you guys is that the research at UTMB is very interdisciplinary. We have a lot of research strengths, a lot of centers and institutes that support our research programs. So students that go into our graduate programs, it's not uncommon for them to be in a program that you think might fit a certain category, but they'll do research in an area that may seem unrelated, but it's really not. So I'll explain in just a moment, but it's very interdisciplinary. So we have a lot of strengths at UTMB. You know, we're home to the Galveston National Laboratory, which is the, you know, the high biocontainment facility there. As you can see, we have a lot of research in the areas of microbiology and immunology, virology, pathology. In these areas, again, you can read this. I'm not going to read it to you, but graduate students that are interested in doing research in these areas would typically apply for, say, the microbiology and immunology program or experimental pathology, but also the biochemistry, cell molecular biology program. They do a lot of stuff with virus evolution, structural biology related to viruses. And then also students may apply to the human pathophysiology and translational medicine program if they're interested in this. So the reason that I'm letting you know about this diversity is if you should decide to apply to a program at UTMB, I would encourage you to reach out before you submit your application and speak with the program directors and learn a little bit more about the program before you apply. So you learn about all your different options in the different programs. Another big strength that we have is in the area of neuroscience. We're opening a new brain health institute there. Also pharmacology and toxicology. We have a big center for addiction research. So these are some of our big research strengths. And again, students interested in these areas may apply to the neuroscience program, pharm tox, but also again, biochemistry, cell molecular biology, because there is a lot of overlap. And then also we have some more focused like biochemistry and cell biology research strengths as well, shown here. Students interested in that area would obviously apply to the biochemistry, cell molecular biology department program, but also neuroscience and pharm tox, because there is a lot of overlap. So just general information on our graduate program. Currently our students, if eligible, which most are supported by a stipend or a salary of currently $31,500 a year. They also get a full health benefits package and their tuition is covered. In addition to that, we have a lot of student scholarships that we offer every year. Over $125,000 in those were given out just this fall to our students. Our application portal opens in August. We don't really start looking at applications for the PhD programs until November and December, but it's important to get your application in sooner than later because we do our admissions on a rolling basis. So here's the address of the website. If you have any questions, you want to learn more about our degree programs, or you can send an email to GSBS-RECR for recruitment at utmb.edu. So that's just a very brief overview of the degree programs, but we also have a certificate program which is our Post-Bacc program. And I'm going to turn that over to Dr. Vargas.
Absolutely. Okay, so yeah, we have a Post-Bacc program as a post-Bacc research education program that is a comprehensive one-year program to help build academic skills and research skills for students to complete and be admitted into a PhD program. So the program is an NIH funded program that I forgot to say the name, but you can see it at the top, Prepping for Success. It's NIH funded, and the idea is that it is a program to enhance diversity in the biomedical sciences And it specifically, along with many 30-something other prep programs around the country, are working to address the shortage of underrepresented group trainees that are not only matriculating into PhD programs in biomedical sciences, but also completing those PhDs. So our research program is designed so that students receive 75% of the time that they spend here in research training and 25% on academic and career skills development. Oh yeah, I guess I need to ask you to move the slide. Next slide, please.
Yes, I am trying and it's misbehaving again. Just give it a second.
Okay.
It eventually changed last time, so
Yeah.
let's see. Oh, there we go.
So some of the highlights of our program, this is a full year, 12-month program. We're recruiting right now for this year that starts this summer, and of course for upcoming years as well. It starts in the summer 2, which is, I think in our case, about June 25th. I don't have the exact date, Dr. Tolliver might, and it goes for an entire year. Trainees receive a full year salary that's equivalent to a graduate student's stipend of $31,500, and it also comes with benefits. And then we cover tuition for the certificate program that is curriculum based, because there's some curriculum associated with this. And so our idea is that we want to provide a supportive, mentored environment that includes faculty, peer mentors, basically this entire community of mentors that are here for students to help them develop academic skills, career skills, enhance confidence, gain a science identity, and then get some very specific research skills. For the research component, trainees are matched with a funded lab on campus, and this is always an active and very competitively funded lab. And trainees serve a role similar to a graduate research assistant for the entire year and build up onto a research project of their own. So you receive training at the beginning, and then the idea is to build up to define a research project of your own that by the end of the year you have completed. So the second part of this, the 25%, is career and skills development. And so this consists of a number of workshops, regular workshops that we work on to improve skills such as networking, writing, scientific communication. But really importantly, we assist with graduate school application preparation, and we have workshops on how to prepare everything from a personal statement to every aspect of that graduate application. Our goal is trainees will matriculate into a science or math intensive PhD program, hopefully in biomedical sciences. And some of the, kind of outcomes that have happened is that some of the trainees that have come out, about 45%, 42 to 45% end up publishing eventually based on the work that they did during the prep training, and 70% matriculated directly into a PhD program. Now, in our last 2 years, we've had that at 100%. So last year and this year, we've had 100% acceptance into a PhD program. Last year, everybody matriculated. This year, they will matriculate hopefully in August. And then eligibility is listed here and also in the website. I think the site the slide before said the website for how to apply for prep, but please just ask us and we'll provide that as well if you have any other questions.
I moved it. It's coming up. Sorry.
No, that's okay. That's okay, because it's hard to write it down anyway, but I can put it in the chat box for people to be able to. So if you have any questions for me, I'll be happy to answer them. And yes, we're actively recruiting now. So if you feel like you're ready and you're ready to get additional research experience and fit the eligibility criteria, or have friends that are kind of expressing to you that they haven't quite figured out what they're going to do. Maybe they meant to go to graduate school, but they're not quite ready because they want additional research skills. That's what we're here for. So please have them contact us. And I'll take any questions.
Thank you, Gracie. So does anybody have any questions?
No, thank you so much, Dr. Vargas and Dr. Tolliver. So the remaining time is going to be for Q&A. You guys are free to move among other breakout rooms for other programs if you're interested. But if you have a question for this specific program, please type it in the chat or feel free to unmute yourself and you can ask the representatives. Okay. So I did get one question in the chat. So somebody asked, how can an undergraduate applicant stand out in the application process?
I'm sorry, can you say that one more time?
How can an undergraduate applicant stand out in the application process?
Yes. I think probably the best way to stand out is to have some research experience. That's one thing that we really try to look for when students are applying for advanced degree, because we want to make sure that it's not so much that we expect you to come in, with the skills necessary to do the research already, because you'll get training and research skills while you're here, but we do want our applicants to know what they're getting into when they go to grad school. We want them to be fully aware of what graduate school involves and to understand that they really have a commitment to complete that program. So research experience is very helpful. We also like to see students that have leadership qualities. It's, no matter what career path you go into, I think demonstrating some leadership qualities will help you no matter what. So, involvement in organizations and things like that's not mandatory, but it certainly helps you to stand out. Let's see. So when we're evaluating applications, we don't focus on just one particular thing. So we really try to do a holistic evaluation of an application. We try to look at everything. Your personal statement is really important. That gives us, good insight into who you are, because we can look at your credentials on paper, we can look at your GPA. That doesn't tell us a lot about you. So your personal statement really gives us a lot of insight into who you are and helps us in evaluating you. Also, your recommendation letters also are very helpful, because your recommenders can also give us insight into who you are, and insight that we can't get off of a piece of paper. Does that answer your question? Whoever asked it?
Yeah.
And for the prep program, I would say all of that except for the research component. And what we're really looking for as well is that beyond the eligibility criteria is that there is a strong motivation for the pursuing a PhD in the biomedical sciences. And research is not required. That's what we're for. And in fact, one of the things that we found is, as what I said, is after your training, a lot of times students are ready to now apply for and matriculate into a PhD program.
I have one more question. So when you start a program, do you automatically get into a research, or do you help us apply for a research?
So are you talking about like for the prep program or?
Program.
Go ahead, Grace.
So for the prep program, we actually have a very unique matching system. We give you a list of faculty that participate in prep, and there's actually a lot of the faculty at UTMB that have experience with mentoring trainees of all levels and are well-funded, have competitive labs and all of those criteria, right? And then, so you tell us 5 that you're interested in, and we have you interview with them, and we actually even train you to interview with faculty. It's a mutual interviewing experience. They interview you, you interview them, and then you rank and they rank, and then we end up placing you in a lab that matches highly with both. And we find that process really helps to make sure people end up in a lab that they're happy and they stay in for the entire year.
Thank you.
Okay, I stopped sharing my screen just so I can see you guys better. So
we have another question. With UTMB being in Texas, do you guys accept many out-of-state students, or is it like the class primarily in-state residents?
no, we have students from all over the country. yeah, I mean, obviously we have, good relationships with the undergraduate institutions here, and we do recruit students from Texas. We love having Texans, but we also recruit from all over the country. I don't know the proportion of our incoming class or this year's class, but I know a lot of them actually came from out of state. So yeah, we have no preference either way. So I guess if there aren't any more questions right now, are you guys familiar with a graduate school and some of the things that you can do for a career? Are you familiar with that? No? Would you like to learn more? Oh, hi, Anthony. Welcome. So yeah, some people think the only thing you can do if you get a PhD in a biomedical science is go into academia, like Dr. Vargas and I did, but that's actually not your only option. And in fact, less than half, I think, of our graduates now go into academia. It's not that academia is a bad thing. It's wonderful. I wouldn't trade it for anything. I love my job. It's great. But you do have a tremendous amount of flexibility and a lot of career choices with a PhD. So a lot of people go into industry. A lot of our students become entrepreneurs, open up their own businesses. We have medical liaisons, science writers, people that, go work for the government, either doing research or working in policy. There's just a lot that you can do with a PhD. There's a lot of flexibility. And so one thing that we do at UTMB is since we do realize that a lot of students won't go into academia, we do offer a lot of career exploration and development opportunities. If you go to our website, the UTMB GSBS, go to current students, and then the drop-down career exploration and development, you can see a lot of the different programs that we offer for our students. So that's actually to help students get some more of these transferable skills that they may need in alternative careers so that they'll be competitive in the job market when they graduate.
We have another question. How many people do you accept per round of applications?
Okay, so I'll let Dr. Vargas answer about prep after I answer, since my mic's already on. So for us, it kind of depends on the program. Some programs have extra like fellowships where they can admit extra students, but in general, we admit approximately 4 per program per year. So we end up with anywhere between 28 to 35 incoming students per year for our basic science programs. Dr. Vargas, what about prep?
So normally it's 4. This year will be 5. It really just kind of again depends on the funding aspects of it. And at this point for this year, we still have 3 slots that we're working to fill.
If anybody has any more questions, you guys feel free to send them in the chat, or you can unmute your mic and ask them directly.
How many of you are interested in graduate school eventually? I heard medical school earlier. I don't know how many of you were interested in medical school too, but you as well.
Probably I want to do a gap year and like go to grad school before I start medical school. So.
To get a PhD before going to medical school?
Probably like a master's.
Master's, okay. Yeah, I know people that take that path, that have taken that path for sure. Mm-hmm. How about everyone else?
I had a similar plan as she did, but I'm also looking to see if there's any like post-bacc pre-medical programs.
Oh, okay. They do have those. I'm not familiar with the ones. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a little weird. Like I said, I just took my MCAT recently, and that is not something that I want to do again anytime soon. And so if that doesn't go very well, then I'll probably either just do a gap year of maybe being a research assistant, or maybe looking into some grad school programs for masters, and then seeing if I have the dexterity or motivation to reapply to medical school, or maybe get derailed in a positive direction. So that's kind of where I'm at right now.
So, UTMB now has a couple, how many master's programs do we have at this point, Dr. Tolliver?
Well, we have a professional master's in pharmacology and toxicology. And we have some master's programs in the through the School of Public and Population Health. So, you can get an MPH, or they're offered there. We
And
don't
clinical sciences is one of them. I have a student that started there, but then once she started that, she decided that a master's wasn't enough. Like, she loved research, and she ended up going into PhD anyway.
So do any of you have any research experience? Have any of you worked in a lab before? You have, Matthew?
Yeah, I worked in a lab where we were researching, we were doing some CRISPR gene editing for C. elegans, that nematode. It was kind of interesting. I wasn't in there for very long because we were working on doing a presentation before COVID hit, and then COVID hit, and then I was online for like months. And then whenever we got back, we just didn't really start the project up again. And so that's the experience that I have so far. But it was really interesting and fun, and I learned a lot of techniques and assays and stuff. So it was really neat. Good.
Yeah, COVID had a pretty bad impact on a lot of undergraduate students that were trying to get research experience. But that's common for everybody at this point. So graduate schools certainly understand that when they're looking at applications. So yeah, I was pre-med when I was in college, until I had the opportunity to do research. And my cell biology professor invited me to go do research in his lab. And that was basically all it took. I got bit by the research bug. I loved it so much. I said, okay, I don't even want to do med school anymore. And I mean, there's nothing wrong with it, of course, but once I got my hands dirty and got in the lab, it was just, that's all I wanted to do. I fell in love with it.
Anthony, how about you? What are your interests?
So actually, I've been in 2 research labs. One of them was the C. elegans lab, so I had basically was doing behavioral assays on C. elegans for a specific gene. The other one was I did one freshman year, which was a ciliate lab. I kind of realized I didn't want to do microbiology from that lab, unfortunately, but it was interesting research into soil ciliates. From what I kind of realized is I wanted, when in terms of research interests, it seems like I like more the data science and stats part of it, and not so much the heavy lab stuff. And
yes, and that's actually an important area to get training in. And we do offer, we have within our biochemistry, cell, molecular biology graduate program, we do have a structural biology and biophysics track, and they have a lot of people that do computational work. And then we also have in the School of Public and Population Health, I think they have some advanced degrees that are focused on data science.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess within the graduate school at UTMB, is research primarily computational, or is it more wet lab and doing experiments?
Oh, at UTMB in general?
Yes.
Oh,
I guess within the graduate school as well.
Yeah, it's mostly wet lab, but there's also very large, a lot of researchers that we have there that do the computational side. So it's both. I'd say that the majority of it's wet lab, but we definitely have a lot of other research areas, right? Gracie, would you agree?
Yeah, I mean, and it really just depends on the discipline, right? What is big in that discipline? So we were just talking about the data sciences, and there's bioinformatics. And so there are some labs where it is very computational, where it isn't, or somebody in population health may not necessarily even be in a lab, but it may have a research project that's centered around that computational side. And then I'll use my lab as an example. I'm actually a biomedical engineer. And we do a combination of some things that are optics and engineering, and then some that are, application, development of those things, and then application of those in microscopy. So we don't quite fit the wet lab, model, but we actually do some wet labs. I have some students that for their project, they need to do cell culture in order to carry out the optics and engineering components and so on. So it's a combination of those. And so I would say across UTMB, it really just comes down to the discipline of, what is the research topic? And then, yeah, some of it can be wet lab, some of it may not be.
So I guess with that being said, I know you mentioned earlier that having research experience is important whenever you're applying. Do you look for like a specific kind of research experience? Like if somebody wants to join a wet lab, but they primarily have like computational experience?
I mean, in my experience, Dr. Tolliver will know better from the graduate school because she has a lot more experience with this. But in my experience, as she said, we look at the student holistically, right? So it's more about their desire, motivation, and abilities, because once you're in the lab, you get trained into that specific discipline, right? And so we don't necessarily look for a specific area. But more the fact that, it shows that there has been an interest and you've been pursuing it. And then along with those letters saying, yes, this person is highly motivated, has the ability for this and this, that, then those are the things we would look for.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. It doesn't matter what the area is. And it's nice to actually see when students are flexible, because sometimes I was this way, I thought I was only interested in what I knew, and that's normal, right? I mean, if you do research in a certain area, that's all you know. Sometimes you think that's what you want to do for the rest of your life until you get exposed to other things. You're like, oh, that's really interesting too. And so I've changed my path like this, So my degree is in human biochemistry and genetics, but I don't do any biochemistry. I don't remember my biochemistry at all. I actually do immunology and wound healing research, trauma research. So, and I actually never had a class in immunology my whole life. So that was all self-taught after I got my PhD. And so, that's one of those skills that you get when you get a PhD is learning how to think critically. You learn how to learn, basically. So anyway, my point is your past research experience, the area isn't that important, and it's great to be flexible and be open-minded when you pursue a PhD, try different things, because you never know what you're going to like. So Abhi, we didn't get a chance to hear about you. I don't want to call you out here, and you don't have to answer if you don't want, but we met everybody else. We'd love to hear about you if you want to share.
Oh, no, you're absolutely fine. I was going to say I haven't been in research yet, but recently I got an acceptance to the MD Anderson Head and Neck Surgery Department for cancer research. So I'll be doing that this summer.
Wonderful. So you're doing just a summer undergraduate research program?
That is correct. Yeah.
Great. Those are wonderful opportunities and a good way to kind of dabble in there and see if that's what you want to do.
That's really cool. I do development of diagnostics for head and neck cancers. That's the biomedical engineering part of. So that's kind of cool that you said that you're going to join the head and neck cancer project.
That's great. Good luck with that.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Does anyone have any other questions?
Actually, do have a quick question. Do you guys in any way work with any of the MD PhD candidates at UTMB, or is that like just separate completely?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so we do. So the students, so applying for the MD PhD program is separate from applying through the graduate school. It's its own separate program. But yes, the students do their first 2 years of medical school at UTMB, and then they completely switch over and become a graduate student, a full-time graduate student for a few years. And then once they complete their dissertation and defend it, then they go back and complete their last 2 years of medical school. So absolutely, we work with them. They're in our classes. Well, not so much our classes, but in our labs, our programs, our seminars, all of that. Yes.
Thank you.
Sure. Hi, Ricky. I don't know if we didn't get to meet you yet. I don't think.
Hello, hi.
Hi. So where are you from?
San Antonio.
Oh, okay, great. And so what are your interests?
I was interested like either in like MD or MD, PhD like programs. I don't know if UTMB has that. Like I guess if you could speak a little bit more about that if you have it.
Yeah, so Dr. Vargas and I are with the graduate school, but we are both familiar, with the School of Medicine there and the MD PhD program. So I don't know exactly when you came in, but I was just telling Matthew that you apply, it's a separate application process from MD or PhD. So you apply directly for that and you do your first 2 years in your basic med school classes, then you come over to the graduate school, you're a full-time graduate student, complete your dissertation research. You're usually set up with a project that they know in advance can be completed in a timely manner. So they can get you out of there pretty quickly. And then after you complete that, then you go back to med school for your last 2 years. So I don't know if you heard that or not, or if that was even what you wanted to know. Do you have any questions about the MD PhD program?
No, that was just like, I guess, a basic overview, but yeah, I just came in recently, but that really helps. Thank you.
Sure. Have you ever visited? Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, no, go ahead, go ahead.
I was just going to ask if I have heard a couple of people say they love UTMB. So I was just wondering if like Anthony and Ricky, have you guys ever visited UTMB or been to Galveston before?
I've
Been to Galveston.
go ahead.
Oh, okay. I've been to Galveston before. It's very nice. I haven't been to UTMB.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, same. I've been to Galveston, but not UTMB specifically.
It's a really nice campus. We have a lot of research facilities, a brand new hospital. We're expanding. We've got a nice health education center. It's very nice.
Yeah, Ricky, we were talking at the beginning just about, even just the location of Galveston and UTMB being located on the island. It just gives it another flavor. There's, very rigorous research that goes on in academics and teaching and so on. But at the same time, being on the island, you're surrounded with all of these opportunities to participate in, obviously the beach behind me, right? Not the real, it's a photo obviously, but that is in Galveston. And, fishing and, the various things when you do have that downtime. So it's nice to be surrounded by this. Dr. Tolliver and I were saying that we both lived on the island for many years. It's just very nice to be close to work and be able to, live here in this, kind of from the home life, it's a relaxed environment. And so it's a great place to be.
No, yeah, that's great to hear that, you're in a more like island location, more, I guess, a little bit more, on the coast, kind of tropical wise, I guess, location that's really something unique, I guess, about UTMB that I was looking at as well. So glad to hear more about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, the nice thing is it's a small town and it's got that small town environment. I mean, it's not a super small town, but it has that small town feel to it. But it's nice because you're so close to Houston. So you have all the benefits of the bigger city and, all of the things that you can go do up there, and it's not too far, but yet it's kind of a nice little community to be in. Sure. Good luck, Marilyn. It was nice to meet you.
Good, nice to meet you too.
Hi, is it Leah? Did I say that right? Yeah, sorry, I can't hear, but welcome. Did you have any questions for us about UTMB? Okay, great.
So thank you so much to Dr. Vargas and Dr. Tolliver for sharing information about UTMB and the Graduate School of Biosciences. We really appreciate you guys for being here today. But since we're ending a little bit early for our graduate school fair for UTMB, I'm going to ask everyone, you guys can like head back to the main Zoom whenever you leave the breakout room. The next event after this is going to be the lunch and social hour. You can take a screen break, enjoy your lunch on your own social hour Zoom. And then for our Baylor students, first students are required to attend the keynote speech in person. It's going to be at 1 o'clock in B110, in D110, I apologize. If you are not a Baylor student and you're not in Waco, feel free to head to the social hours Zoom. That is also where our keynote speech will be displayed at 1 p.m. And if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask me. And again, thank you so much. Thank you so much to you guys for speaking today.
Absolutely. I put my email address in the chat. So if you ever have any questions about anything, please feel free just to email me directly. I don't mind at all.
Then same here. My info is on the website for prep if you're interested in prep. It was very nice meeting everyone today.
Yes, and best of luck. I'm glad to see you guys taking your time to participate in events like this. That's great.
Mhm.
Yeah, thank you.
Sure. Best of luck.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for you guys for presenting today.
No, you're welcome. That was interesting. I hadn't done one of those yet, at least at a multi-institutional one.
Yeah.
Now I know what to expect.
Yeah, you guys can feel free to head back to the main room if you'd like. If you want to stay here, that's also totally fine. So it's up to you guys.
Okay.
What should we do? I mean, do you think students will be popping in, or do you think they're done?
I think they are, since we only have 10 more minutes of the graduate school fair, I think they're about done, especially the Baylor students, because they're going to grab a quick bite to eat and then head to campus, because a lot of students are off campus right now. And then everyone else, if you guys can head back to the main room, because if they have questions there, they can also, you guys can answer that there. But we should be done with the graduate school fair in about 10 minutes.
Okay, so but you think we should hang out in the main room until it ends?
Yes, and just for
Okay.
10 minutes, and after that, you guys are feel free to log out.
Okay, all right. Well, Tiffany, thank you so much for asking questions and facilitating some instruction, and best of luck to you also in your career pursuits.
Thank you so much. I might be applying to this in a few months now, because this is really interested. So I'm really interested in this program.
Good.
Well, you know, you're just right up the road. So if you ever want to come visit and get a tour of the campus and just reach out to us, we'll set that up.
Oh, well, thank you so much.
Sure. Okay, I'll go to the main room.
Yeah. Yeah. It's right now, yeah, it's been good. It's been good.
Awesome. Thank you so much to the professors here as well. We really, really appreciate your help today, and as well as the grad reps. This has been an amazing experience for a lot of our underclassmen, and a lot of freshmen have been telling us that they were excited to hear this. Faith, I'll let you take it away. I will go get some things sorted out for about 4 minutes, and then I'll be back on Zoom.
All right. Awesome. Yeah, well, first of all, thank you grad reps for being here. I think that your commitment is pretty much like over. If you've already given your presentation, you do not have to stick around for any questions. But thank you so much for showing up today. And I've heard some really awesome things about the presentation as people have been coming by. So thank you all so much. Yeah.
I have a question. So from 2 to 2:15, it's the best presentations thing.
Yes.
If we're not there, what would happen?
So we are planning to do a Zoom for people who are not on campus. So there's still like some technical things that we're working through right now, but at the very least, we'll be able to like Zoom comment like who had won each presentation. And after the event, we'll be emailing you in about a week with certificate slash like judge critiques of your presentation.
And if we're not in the Zoom,
I'm sorry.
and if we're not in the Zoom,
If you're not on the Zoom, then no worries. I mean, like you're gonna still be a winner regardless of like whether you hear us announce it or not. But yeah, we would love to see you there on the Zoom at least if you are able to or you have time.
okay, great, thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Sophia. It's nice to meet you.
Yeah, you too.
Okay, Faith, I apologize. I got distracted when you were talking. Did you
No worries.
did you say that we should go ahead and go now, or did you want us to hang around for a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, if you, I mean, did you guys have any issues or anything that you wanted to talk about other than that? Like, yeah, how was the session? Was it good?
Yeah, it was great. Tuba was an excellent facilitator.
Yeah, she's awesome.
Yeah, kept the conversation going. We had some really engaged students. So yeah, it was good.
That's awesome. I'm really glad you guys are able to come. Yeah, you guys, your commitment is pretty much over, so you can go ahead and I know you guys have lots of other things to do. So thank you guys for spending your time with us.
Very definitely. Thank you.
Yeah,
Yes.
thank you for having us and good job on the conference, guys.
Mhm.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye
Bye,
bye.
y'all.
I think there's just 3 more sessions left.
Sure. Okay, can I just log out a bit early because I need to like change.
Yeah.
I'm in PJ.
Yeah. No problem. You could have fooled me.
Okay. So I'll see you guys in person in a bit then.
All right. Bye.
Bye.